Hi, my name is TK Sims, founder of A Sisters Reach Incorporated, a nonprofit organization based in Atlanta that provides tools and resources to help women reach their full potential through womanhood, works, and wealth. I am also your host for Sister Talks with TK. Ladies, if we can't do anything else, we love to talk. Maybe that's why the serpent went to Eve first instead of Adam, because he knew we would talk to him. Anywho, our Sister Talks will include topics on marriage, family, sisterhood, sex, dating, money, global issues, and so much more. Are you ready for some Sister Talks with TK? Welcome to Sister Talks with TK Sims. Tonight you get to join me and my husband. That's right, I said my husband. Marlon Sims will be in the building, and we are going on a virtual double date night with an amazing couple from Abu Dhabi, Heather and Jamel. Listen in as we discuss being married with Corona and how they overcame and how it changed their lives. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. It's the end of our day now, so I'm not doing too well because that means it's almost time to start back working tomorrow.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So tell everyone a little bit about yourselves, like your name, where you live, and your occupation.
Okay, well, I guess I will start. Ladies first, right?
Yes.
So, I'm Heather Settles, and I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and now we live in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. This is year 6? Year 5, going on year 6. We've been here since, I've been here since August 2015, and my husband's been here since July 2015. And I am an educator teaching the local Emirati students, English, math, and science. This year, I teach KG1. I came here originally in 2015 teaching KG1, but then I was transferred to a Cycle 1 school teaching all boys, which I was completely terrified of because I'm like, oh my gosh, all boys. I'm not, that was something totally different that was unheard of for me to even do. So I was like stressed out. My husband was like, well, babe, like this might be a blessing in disguise. You might really like it. Just try it out. At least if you try it, you'll know like whether or not it was a good fit. So it ended up being so perfect. Like everything about it was good.
Awesome.
Like of course it was stress. It was stress because it was little boys, first, second, third graders.
So with lots of energy, right?
Yes. Too much energy, but they kept me laughing and entertained, of course. And working with all male like the staff, it was men, it was, on Cycle 1 side, it was only it was 3 female teachers, and the rest, maybe 20, 30 other teachers were men. All the administrators were men, and it ended up being, at first I was like, I don't want to work with men. That's uncomfortable. Like, I'm going to have to wear this abaya every day.
Right.
Just all of that. But it ended up great. Like, I love abayas, and now my husband is like, where are you going with that abaya on? And I'm like, we just need to go to the store. He said, I did not marry an Arab lady. Where are you going? Take that off. It's like a house coat. So, it was easy because I would just wake up, put on some workout clothes, and go to work.
Right.
No stress. I didn't have to even put any mind thoughts into what I had to wear to work every day. So it worked out really good. And now I'm with my KG1 students again, and it was doing okay until COVID-19, of course.
Right.
So now I feel like I'm teaching on a college level because of the work that we have to give online, and trying to make sure that we have assignments and lessons that accommodate what the parents may have at home. So it's like you trying to be so creative in a way that it seems like it would be impossible if somebody told you this is what we had to do in a normal situation.
Right.
But we have like 3 weeks left, so I'm counting down. I just told my husband, like, I need a break, a mental break from this, because I've been on the edge several times. Me and my teammates at work, we just have to kind of pull each other off that edge. But luckily, we're not all on the edge at the same time, so...
Heather, I commend you guys, because I tell you, with my, children being at home and I'm having to play teacher, your job is definitely difficult, and I don't, as a mother, I do not at all take that for granted. The work that the teachers have to put in with our children, it truly takes a village to raise a child. It's not just me raising my kids. They're with they're with their teachers more than they're really with me, especially during the week, So I appreciate what you do for your community. And who do you have with you?
I have my wonderful husband, Jamel.
Awesome. Hi, Jamel.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jamel Settles. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Met my wife in Houston, where I used to live and went to school. I was a assistant principal for 10 years, and transitioned maybe 2 years ago to ed tech. And so now last year I was a subject matter expert for math, where I wrote curriculum for a e-learning platform. And now I'm overseeing the U.S. e-learning platform for a school in Harlem called Harlem Children's Zone.
Wow, that's awesome.
We forgot we have 3 kids.
Yes.
Sorry.
3 babies. Awesome. So all of that, and you still have 3 children that you have to tend to as well. So you have to teach them at home, and you're teaching online. That's a lot, Heather.
That part right there.
Very difficult. Balancing that time and that schedule. The only good thing with my job is pretty much as long as I do my 8 hours within the 24 hours, I'm okay. So some days I get up extra early, 4 in the morning, knock out about 4 or 5 hours, and then tend to our oldest one for schooling, and then finish up at the end of the day. Or some days, just kind of play with the schedule. Pretty much, I get up, I check my, I have meetings, delegate pretty much tasks that have to be curriculum and grade levels that have to be reviewed. I deal with pretty much middle school, 6, 7, and 8 curriculum. And so we just make sure it's aligned to New York curriculum.
Okay.
And then look at assessments. Then I have meetings on, I work with vendors in India and different places, pretty much all over the world, and kind of work with them on how it should look on the platform. And I make changes. I do a little instructional design work where I actually do some programming and different things. So it's kind of been a different journey away from being in the day-to-day hustle and bustle of a school. I miss the school system. I'm definitely, I think they could, you need that change, be a change agent, and making sure kids are becoming life learners. But I have to look at the future of like the wave of education.
Yeah.
And how do you bridge that gap with technology being infused into the school? And so that's the reason I made that transition.
Yeah, so your position is just as essential, and we appreciate what you do as well. So I'm super excited because whenever I'm doing, my podcast or really do anything in ministry, I don't really get the opportunity to have my husband with me. So Heather, when I found out your man was going to be on this call, I said, honey, you have to participate on this call with me. So I want to introduce you guys to my hubby, Marlon Sims. Honey, say hey.
Hey.
So I'm excited that he's here with us. So Jamel, we want to kind of go into you because you actually had the coronavirus, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so like, was it? Do you still have it or not?
No, I don't have it. So I'm 3 weeks as of Thursday, COVID free.
Amen.
Hey.
Woo!
COVID survivor by his stripes, as they say.
Yes,
right.
you are healed.
Yes.
That is awesome. So, basically, with you having the corona, tell us about the days leading up to being tested positive for COVID-19. Like, what were there any symptoms? How were you feeling?
So on a Wednesday, actually, it was pretty much. I had symptoms maybe the week before I got tested, but I was unsure. But it wasn't like the symptoms that they were saying that was common amongst everybody. And so, like the Wednesday, it was a Wednesday, and I told my wife, I was like, my back's sore, and she was like, really? Because I never complained about anything being sore. I'm like, nah, it's like killing me. And so I laid down. And I was thinking maybe because I exercised the day before, that same day and the day before, so I was like, maybe I'm just sore.
Right.
So I woke up the next day, and it was like light. I couldn't, like the daylight, the light in our bedroom, and I had like a real bad headache, and I couldn't, just didn't want to open my eyes, and I felt very faint and dizzy, and so I was like, something not right, and so. I kind of rested that whole entire day, and my wife was like, "You might got COVID." I said, "That's not the same symptoms."
She did not listen to me. I was like, "Let's be safe than sorry."
Right. But Heather, do they ever listen? Do they ever listen to us?
He's like, "No, it's not. I don't feel like that. It's not COVID feeling." I said, "It doesn't have a specific feeling. If you listening, these people are saying they feel completely normal and they're positive."
Right. Go ahead.
I was thinking like maybe I have like a sinus infection. I'm like, this is like a sinus infection. I think I got sinus pressure.
Hard-headed.
Typical man, this is what I think
I was
it
about to
is.
say the
I ain't
same
gonna
thing.
myself.
This is typical of us.
Not wanting to go to the doctor, right?
I'm not bleeding. I'm like, nothing is hanging off. My limbs are together.
Right,
I'm all right.
Right.
I just did 150 burpees. I can't be COVID.
Right. So how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? 38. Okay. So you're pretty healthy. You exercise, you work out.
So when I finally went to the doctor, and the doctor was saying I had high blood pressure, and I was like, what?
Right.
I've never had high blood pressure. I don't eat salt. I don't eat meat. I'm like, I have a plant-based diet. I run 3 days out the week. And so she was like, oh, you just need to exercise. I told the lady, I said, look, I have a plant-based diet. So anything else that I need to change would be like eating dirt.
Right.
Or air. Eat air.
Breatharian.
Right. And so she was like, well, she went straight to the statistics and saying like, yeah, in the African American community, I said, as unethical as this that you are,
right?
That doesn't mean I have to have high blood pressure. And I started researching, and I was like, this, everything that they say I should be doing to make sure my blood pressure is not high. I was like, I do that on a daily basis, and I've been doing it for years. So I said, it just didn't make sense. And so.
So when you did get the positive test, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
I thought they was crazy.
Right. The devil is a liar.
Like, what? I mean, it was just like, it was almost, I thought I was waiting on that like Law and Order sound. I know I'm being punked. I was like, where the camera?
It's like, maybe they gave me the wrong results. They gave somebody else results to me. I'm like, no. So immediately we all like, kids got to get out, because we've been all in the same space. I've been in the bed, like we, like everything, like a husband and wife.
I made the kids pancakes the day before.
We running around the house with the kids. They drinking behind him.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was completely crazy. So
when I got the news, it was just it was a real shock, and so because I had the symptoms, I guess whatever symptoms there was the week prior, and so I was actually getting back to being as normal as possible.
Right.
So like my blood pressure was down, but I knew I didn't feel right. So once my blood pressure went down, I was like, something not right. I'm going for a second opinion, and that's when we found out
that you actually was positive for COVID-19. So my husband has a question. Go ahead, honey.
This question is for the wife.
Okay.
I would like to understand your mental state of mind because we equivalent COVID-19 to death.
Right.
Yeah.
So where were your mental state of mind? Were you thinking in your mind like, okay, my husband about to leave us?
Right.
Oh my God. Do you know, like, that was, I think because he was so, like, even though he had it, and I'm sure there was anxiety, but, like, I think because leading up to this point, he's been, like, in this Bible so tough.
I hate to do this to you guys, but we have to take a break. We will be back with Sister Talks Married with Corona after this sponsored message.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, baby.
What you doing?
Oh, I'm just working on my podcast.
It looks like a lot of work.
No, actually using Anchor is the easiest way to make my podcast. They have creation tools that allows me to record and edit my podcast right from my phone or computer. Anchor also distributes my podcast for me, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. I can even make money from my podcast with no minimum listeners. It's everything I need to make a podcast in one place, kind of like a one-stop shop for podcasts. And
Mom, I didn't ask all that.
I guess I'm a little too excited, huh? Just tell the people how to sign up with Anchor.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hey guys, welcome back to our episode, Sister Talks Married with Corona. We will continue to listen to a pre-recorded conversation that my husband and I had with a couple from Abu Dhabi, Heather and Jamel. Jamel was tested positive for COVID-19, and they are sharing their testimony with us. Come on and join us on our virtual double date.
So it was like, I feel like if I wasn't spiritually attached to God, and my husband wasn't spiritually attached to God to show me that this was something that God was probably doing for a purpose, I wouldn't have been able to survive it, because I did have moments where I was like crying or like trying not to let the kids see me, or like I done broke down because I'm like, oh my God, like what am I going to do? We're in another country, and if something happens to him and we don't have like certain things lined up, they may not let me take the kids. Like, just a bunch of different crazy thoughts were going through my mind. But I just knew in my spirit that he was on his end of the virus, because his was not as severe. Thank God. He saw the worst before he even got his results. I think when he got the results, that was at the end of it. Like he was getting ready to come out of it. So, like, when I would check on him, I know he was getting tired of me, because I was like, babe, you all right? I'm calling. I'm knocking on the door. I'm like, babe, take this. You need to do this steam. I'm like looking and finding onions and garlic and citrus fruits. And I'm like, you need to breathe this steam in. And I'm bringing, like, teas. And I know I was getting on his nerves, but I was like, you're not leaving me. It's not time.
No, exactly.
We got 3 kids. One is the oldest is 9, and the youngest is 2.
Right.
We don't have time for this.
No.
We got a lot of stuff to do. We got plans. We got this purpose that we're trying to fulfill, and it's not time.
Absolutely.
So, I was so happy when they came, because they came to do tests. Like, he couldn't come out the room, so the nurses had to come and do 2 tests for him. And
they
when
came
they
to your
came
home?
and gave him them Yeah, they come to the house and they put like these monitors on his wrist. Like they tried to. Okay, can I tell you about a black brother? He was like, they screwed it. It's like an ankle monitor.
Oh no,
so
we're not having that. We're not having that.
They shackled him and they screwed it. So they came with tools and screwed a heart monitor and a tracker.
Right.
He found some tools and he ended up taking the thing off. So he was like, y'all telling me y'all want me to rest? I can't rest with these two things on my arm, and you have to charge it while they on your arm.
Wow.
So you gotta lay down straight with your arm shackled to the plugs. He was like, oh no, I'm taking this stuff off. He said, I called and told him, and they was like, no sir, you gotta keep it on. He said, okay, y'all don't come take this off. It'll be off.
So tell me a little bit about the safety measures in your home. You know, did y'all sleep in different rooms? You know, who did you prepare the meals only, Heather? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, so I stayed in our room. Yes. So, comfortably, you know, I had finally had that whole bed, not in that one corner. I didn't have to worry about the kids climbing on my head in the morning.
Right.
He had a vacation, in other words. This is supposed to be a tragic moment. And he was he had a resort. He had
Exactly.
a cheesecake factory. He was eating Cheesecake Factory every other day.
Wow.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. Like, he gained 10 pounds while he was in
I
here.
was spoiled.
Wow. Well, hey, maybe you needed that, I guess, you know?
All right, so she prepared the meals and knock on the door.
And the vitamins, I was like, you taking vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc. You're taking this lemon. I said that you need to drink this lemon and mint tea with this honey and a dash of cayenne every morning to make your immune system be prepared for the vitamin. I was just like, I'm gonna give you everything that they're telling me is working for immune building.
Right. Absolutely. So with knowing your experience of what you guys been through, do you think our country, you know, is ready to open, looking at the U.S. and how we're starting to reopen restaurants and what we saw the other day, honey, clubs? And we're trying to figure out how you're going to exercise social distancing in the club, you know, but we're just reopening. So do you believe, with your experience that you've been through, are we ready to truly reopen?
I feel as though not to the sense where we back to normal.
Right.
I think they definitely need to take precautions because, I mean, we don't know how the disease responds to everybody, you know. So, like, each person has a different symptom. And, you know, what I've learned just going to the hospital, all they can tell you is what common symptoms that they have seen or some other country has seen. And that's all they're telling you. You know, it's not like a common cold or any other virus that we've already have an immune system.
And some people don't have symptoms at all.
Some people don't have symptoms at all, and so you could be in a club and you standing next to somebody with it, they don't know, and then you get it and you have worse symptoms than ever. You know, so
it can take you out. So it's just like you don't know. But being here, it's totally different from what we're seeing. Like, I see everybody in America on social media, people that I've gone to school with or that are, you know, like just people that we grew up with, like no mask. My mom is like, these people are in these restaurants, the line is wrapped around the corner, nobody has on masks. Yeah. Everybody's on top of each other. And it's like, it feels like some people think that it's not real, you know, like it's just normal.
Yeah, because people are literally dying, and you know, you have some people that's actually surviving, but right now, you know, the severity of it is extreme. You know, you have, like I said, people are passing away and unable to, you know, see their family before they die, dying alone, and that's real. And I feel like what's going on in America, they definitely have to have precautions. You know, people should have masks on, they should have gloves on, because you don't know.
You don't know.
You can't go anywhere in the stores here, like they have. It's only 10 people can go in the store at a time, and they actually do it. Like, we were going to the store, and our husband was coming in with me, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, only one can come in until somebody else comes out because we're already at 10."
Right,
know?
right.
So, like,
They pass out
They pass
gloves.
gloves and masks at the door. You have to have it. If you don't want to put it on, you can't come. No children under the age of 10 can go into the malls, or because they did open the malls, but only 3 people in a group. Like if it's more than 3 people in the car, you get a ticket, you get a fine.
Wow. Okay.
So they have like different rules and different things in place to make sure we're safe.
Right.
And like the response here is, I think just being here and seeing the response to this country's response to the actual virus has been beneficial for us. You know, like we said, like I talked to my dad the entire time, and he was like, "They come to the house?" I said, "Yeah, they come to the house to test me." And he was like, "Oh no."
After they say they finished, they test you twice.
And they test me
you
twice.
have to be tested twice before, and if they see, because they take like everything goes by like an Emirates ID,
right?
And so like once you've been tested, like you're in the system. So if anything, you spend something, you pay, you use your card, you're gonna be getting some fines, because that means you're out of quarantine. Even after I got tested, I couldn't even take the kids to get tested because you have to stay in until you get your results. If not,
right.
you get a fine.
Right.
So they take it very seriously, and I think it's only been like 200 and something. Well, the deaths, it's not a lot,
right?
But it makes you have a sense of security, or you feel a little bit better, because it is strict, you know.
Yeah.
If we were at home in America, we know that, you know.
Yeah, just watching people, you know, just being on social media and seeing people losing family members, cousins, and friends. It's just.
It doesn't hit home for people until it's somebody
that's in their family. So, honey, you have a question? What's your question?
I got another question. This time it's for the
husband. Okay.
I just want to know, just as a educated black brother, you know, where throughout this whole situation, after finding out, where was your mind mentally? You know, as a husband and father. Yeah, just because I know if it was me, you know, I will be thinking about, you know, funeral arrangements and what's gonna happen. You know, I would have that type of fear. So being that, you know, you were able to overcome the COVID-19, but where was your mind mentally? You know, in retrospect to the family aspect of it, because y'all got little ones too.
Right.
You know, so I can kind of understand where your mind. I know where my mind would have been. You know,
and just to know, just to kind of give you a background of what, you know, where he's coming from. Like my husband survived 2 strokes. You know what I mean? So even though it's not COVID-19. He can kind of understand the mental state from a man's point of view when you're going through something like this that can possibly have been deadly, you know?
Right.
So go ahead, Mr. Settles.
Yeah, when I first found out, you know, like I said, I was shocked. And, you know, just making sure we had proper precautions, making sure the kids and stuff were safe. But I think it didn't really hit. Like I was like when I found out, I was like, oh, okay, Shad, let's take the measures, let's do what we're supposed to do. And then I had to call my parents, and so I was like, I'm not calling my mom first because I don't want to hear all
the emotion part.
Right. You sound like me, sir.
She is like the last person I'm gonna call.
Right. So, you sound like me, sir.
And so like my parents divorced, so I actually lived with my dad, so I called him first.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and like growing up, I was around men like 24/7 from like 13 until I went to college, and then when I came back, I was just around men. And so, you know, and they bruised. So when I called my dad, I was like, "Hey, Dad." He was like, "What's up, man?" Listen to him go down. I was like, "I have COVID," and he was like, "Oh man!" Like his voice.
It changed. That tearful.
Like I was, and I know I'm not a big crier, so I was like, "Whoa!" Like it made me like tear up.
Right.
And that was scary for me. because I've never seen my husband get emotional like that, you know? And it wasn't for long. It was real brief. It was like a...
Right.
Like he put his head down and had that cry, but it was quick, but it was enough to be like, dang, like this is real.
This is real. Absolutely.
This is real. And that's when it hit me like, this is real. And so, after, we had that conversation, and he was like, it's going to be all right. And I knew it was going to be all right, but when his initial, like, of hearing it and his response, it just made me feel like wow, like this is really, really that serious. And so, but like my wife said, like I was already like in this, like I was in the word so much, like leading up to it. And
so death wasn't an option. It just wasn't an option. Right.
And so after talking to my dad and telling the rest of the family, I was like at peace.
Right. Amen.
And I was when I say like at peace, like I was literally at peace. Like I just knew like it wasn't, this was just, like God sometimes put you through things to make you reflect and pause, and so I literally rest, I pause, and I reflect, and I read books, and I meditated, and I prayed like every day. So I would get up, I had like a routine. I got up in the morning, I read my Bible, I took my notes, reflected, then I got on my knees and prayed, and then I sit down and meditate, and then I did my yoga, and then I ate, and then I read a book. And so I was reading a book a week, like just pumping out books. And, and I would just, my mindset was just, okay, I know I'm gonna get through, but how I'm gonna, when I come out of it, what am I going to be?
Absolutely.
So I was like, I just want to be a better dad, be a better husband, be a better man completely.
Amen.
And so, and then, once I was free, it was just like I heard the gunshot, and I just started running.
Jamel, that's awesome, because that just kind of confirms something that I always say, that when it comes to God, it's a dual partnership. So yes, God is going to do his part, you know what I mean? But there's a contingency. We have to do our part as well, and a lot of times we sit and wish that, something would change, but we have to do something. Even when you go to a vending machine, you got to put the money in, you got to press D3 to get the snack, right? To get the reward. So it's a dual partnership when it comes to God. So, and I believe that that's what you did. You did your part and you did your best, and God did the rest. We hear that all the time, but you just gave an example of it. How did this affect your relationship, good or bad? You're in the no judgment zone right now.
Bad. I'm like, you got to go, girl. You ain't here feed me. You gave 10 pounds. What is wrong with you?
See, that's the tea people want to hear. This will go viral if you talked about the negative stuff, right?
You serve me any more tea concoctions, I'm out of here. I'm like, I had to pour some of that down the top. This lady trying to kill you, not on the policy yet.
Right.
Crazy. Oh my God, but no, I think opposite of this crazy man I'm married to. I think that it was really good, and I really think that it was time for, to me, I kind of feel like it was for me,
Yeah, amen.
It's weird to say, and my friend would ask, she was like, my God, she was like, that's so different. I was like, it's the time for me to sit back and reflect and see how to be a better mom and a better wife.
Right.
And, like to manage, because like I've always struggled with time management and how to make everything work together cohesively,
Yes.
And so like this time I had no choice, because I was trying to make sure he had his food, the kids had theirs, because we have them on a schedule, but thank God we're blessed and able to have a nanny to help us out. So I don't like wash dishes and stuff anymore, but now because she was quarantined as well, I was doing stuff for everybody,
Right.
So it kind of humbled me, and it showed me like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, this is what, get up and get it together. You've been stuck in a rut I mean, you're doing good. Like, don't get me wrong. I have been doing good, but there are things that, you always can better yourself. And
Absolutely.
I felt like it was for me.
Right.
And then when he came out of it, like his last days, when he was waiting on his last test, he was like, "Babe, let's do this 5 love languages assessment,"
Yeah.
So,
okay, you brought that up. What's your love language, Heather?
I have more than one.
Yeah.
So, they give you, what was it? 3? We got 3. So, words of affirmation. And then gifts.
Gifts. Okay.
And then physical touch.
Very
strange. Very strange.
What's yours, Jamel?
It was opposite. My first one was like his last.
Yeah, so like mine was physical touch, acts of service, and then gifts.
Okay.
So, but then like I was reading and it went into more detail, and it was saying like a lot of times as men we automatically be like, oh, physical touch, what I'm saying? So
right.
That to dig deeper and say, okay, if it wasn't physical touch, what will keep you motivated in your marriage? And then that's when I realized it was acts of service.
Yeah.
And quality.
It was even. So acts of service and quality time was even. Like the same amount.
My first one is acts of service, actually. What was yours, honey? What's yours?
I don't know.
You don't know? He doesn't remember, he said. But mine is acts of service.
I had to type it when we did it because I was like, I'm not going to remember. Like,
yeah. And the thing about love languages is kind of like we show love the way we want to receive love. And that's what's hard. Like we have to learn how to love people for their love language. Otherwise, their tanks will be empty. So already because I know about the empty tank, right?
Right.
So, but that's very hard because like I said, mine is acts of service. So your doing matters to me. You know what I mean? So it's not really the affection. It's not really the gifts for me. Like you doing, taking out the trash, washing my car. Like I love that. I need to see the work. Be my maintenance man, fix the sink. Like that's amazing to me, So, but I also show love that way. And when people don't see that or appreciate that, then of course that makes me feel some kind of way. So it's just learning the balance. So that's great. That's awesome. You brought that up.
That was important
because it was like
my number one was words of affirmation.
Right.
But coming from a family that be like, we ain't raised no orange juices. We not weak. Like,
right.
Like they talk to each other like this, even to the ladies.
Yeah.
So, like words of affirmation was his very last one. So, like you said, you do what you think people will want, but that's what you feel, what makes you happy.
Right.
But it takes being in that relationship and figuring it out, like what makes that person happy. Like before doing anything, I remember we was doing marriage counseling, and the guy that did our counseling was like, before you make any choice. He said the reason why they have divorce is because one or both people in the marriage were being selfish.
Yeah.
So he said what your job is to do before you make any decisions. He said before you say, okay, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna buy that car, or I'm gonna sign up for this credit card, or I'm gonna just go I want to eat this tonight. He said you say, okay, well, what would my husband think about this, or how would they feel if I made this decision without them? So you think of the other person before you think what you would want to do, and it would keep you from falling into that selfish, realm. So
Absolutely. I mean, relationships is work, but you guys seem beautiful. I can't wait to really meet you guys face to face one day. I told our mutual friend that I'm coming to visit her when all this stuff is said and done, maybe next year, what have you, or so. I'm coming out there and I hope to meet you guys. And just real quick before we get cut off on this session, what's going on right now, the whole George Floyd situation, like, How do you feel about that? Like, what's going through your mind? Already we're going through the COVID-19. We're dealing with, financial situations and struggles. And then now this. Like, how does this make you feel?
It's crazy because, like, my wife literally dragged me out here. I was like, I don't want to go. Just being in inner cities, like from inner city Houston. I actually started off in Third Ward, and my kid, and she was from Third Ward.
Same school he went to,
and we know,
I stayed 5 minutes from where he grew up. We graduated from the same high school. It hits really hard because Yates is like a really big thing in Houston, period. Even
Right.
Beyonce, you hear her talking about Third Ward all the time, and she really was Third Ward, everywhere. I lived in Third Ward. All my schools were Third Ward, all the way to college.
Right.
And so to see somebody do that to somebody that seems like it's so close to our circle, period, or just period, because we've been seeing it. It's not like he was just that person that triggered everybody to snap out and say, it's time to do something.
Enough is enough. Right.
Enough is enough. How long are we going to just, I saw somebody saying, we teach our children, not to fight, to obey, to do these things, but you still get shot. You still get killed.
Yeah.
When do you say, okay, this is insanity at this point? We doing good and we still dying.
Right. Absolutely.
Now it's at the point where it's kind of we gotta do what we gotta do. This what the ancestors was doing, right? They had to survive. They had to figure it out. And if we don't ever wake up and do something about it, it's we part of the problem too.
So have you guys, I know that you're in Abu Dhabi, but are you able to see what's going on in Atlanta from last night, the protests?
Yeah, it was Atlanta. It's been a lot of places: Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago, a few places that they're rising. But we see quite a bit just kind of tuning into the U.S. news.
Right.
I have friends that's from the UK, from Ireland. They're like, oh my goodness,
they can't believe what's happening. It's a movie, this is real.
Yeah.
This is really happening.
I feel like it's just I always tell people it's so much worse now. And I was telling them I don't think it's so much worse. I just think before if you were in Atlanta and something happened in Atlanta, only people in Atlanta knew. But now, if you're in Atlanta, something happened, everybody knows.
Right.
And so, I remember growing up in Detroit, we have borders where you have 8 Mile is in, after 8 Mile, you go into the suburbs. And I remember growing up, and as soon as you cross 8 Mile, you get, you don't get a full siren. You get the whoop, whoop, whoop.
Right. Right.
No reason. And so they're like, where are you headed to? And I'm like, I'm headed to the mall. There's no mall in our city. All our malls is in the suburbs, and so that's how we grew up. That easily could have been me or
any of us, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think just watching it, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. I had to literally fast forward to the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't watch him being tortured like that.
And to hear a grown man
cry for his mom,
cry for his mother. Oh my goodness, that broke my heart. Yeah.
Crying for his mama.
Yeah.
Really?
To me, I felt like that was almost as bad as the Willie Lynch syndrome, where they beat the man until nobody else wanted to be a black man. You know what I'm saying? Where the mothers retrain their boys to be obedient and submissive. And I feel like when they broke him down to that, because that was, to him, that was the only person that could help him right now in that situation. Because people was just watching him. And I feel like, when do we get to the point where all lives, you know what I'm saying? No matter what's going on, I have to help my brother. Besides filming them and just saying,
right, just recording the situation. When do we step in? Right.
It has to be something. I remember being unfortunately, in the inner city of Detroit, we had a kid that was under a live wire, and that had failed, and he had picked it up, and he got electrocuted. And the firefighters was like, "Don't move him." And he's sitting there. You can see like he's non-responsive. You can see like he's not breathing. And they're telling me and the other principal, like, "Do not move him. We gotta wait until the electric company cuts off the electricity." And we looking at him like, how long that's gonna take? He's already been laying here.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of like, enough is enough, you know. And we pulled him from up under the live wire. And so I feel like now we at a point where we can no longer just film. We have to do something. Like, this is unacceptable, you know. And I looking at this, it makes you angry.
Yeah.
It makes you, you know, you have fleshly thoughts, and you want to definitely do things that, you know, is not godly.
Right.
But it's almost, what else is there? Like,
what else is there? And that's what a lot of people's argument is, because there was a lot of looting and damaging properties. A lot of times they're damaging their own community. And so you have this debate of, you know, nonviolent protest to, you know, we've been nonviolent. So what else is there for us to do, you know? And I totally get that, and I understand that. And then I'm in the same dilemma like you, like, you know, yeah, I have fleshly thoughts, but I know it's not godly. The word tells us be angry, but don't sin, you know? So where is the line as a Christian? How do we really operate and get the things that we want? How do we get the justice that we want and be effective without the violence?
Without the violence. And it's at a point now, like, I feel like we have too many people of color in prominent positions, you know, and we have been given, you know, opportunities, you know, just coming from other marginalized areas. But at the same time, like, we sometimes forget where we come from, you know, because we quote unquote made it, but we're not.
We're not. Yeah.
But we're not, you know, and it's so crazy because I feel like it's not just about racism anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think about racism and classism, you know what I'm saying? The people, unfortunately, are people that's of the lower class, but yet they are human, you know?
Right.
And it's like, what happened is inhumane. And I always say maybe the revolution won't happen until it's somebody that's actually of status to people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like someone who has a family who's doing well and not, you know, have no criminal background, and they got killed senseless.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll spark it up. But to watch somebody actually sit on someone else's neck
and murdered him. He was murdered right before our eyes. Yeah. And I've been trained on restraining people, and I'm like, you can't restrain a kid longer than a minute and a half without going to jail. You know? Right.
Right. And then after that minute, you let them go, restrain them again. Like, you have to give them that, and you're not even restraining like he was doing.
You know?
Like, it was ridiculous. He was handcuffed already, and it's 4 of you. So even if he did get up and try to run,
that's why you have tasers.
Y'all still couldn't catch him. Like, you still couldn't do nothing.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I know we're limited on time, you know, but of course I wanted to touch on this subject a little bit because it just happened, right? But my question to you, and this is going to walk us out of here, what is your message? Like, what do you want to tell the people about what is going on right now, be it COVID-19, be it George Floyd, whatever? What is your message? What is the thing that you want to express to the people?
For COVID, I want people to know that this is the time to get your life, whatever you felt like you need to improve in. This is the time.
Right.
There's no perfect time than now to actually do what you always wanted to do, whether it be health, whether it be spiritual, whether it be business. This is your time. And it's your time to reflect and move forward.
Right.
Create a plan. And people make it. You know, you don't necessarily, everybody's not dying from COVID-19.
Right.
And people are surviving. And you can survive too. You know, just do what you're supposed to do and survive too. And if you're not living healthy, this is the time. Same thing about it. And then for George Floyd, you know, we came here to gather information to bring back into our community, and I feel like watching someone like me be murdered on TV has sparked something in me that I have to. It's time for me to come home and join the fight and to help prove. The first thing I said, I don't want my son to grow up in a society like that, and so I need to do my part to improve.
To improve it,
because he can't grow up singing a song or doing or marching anymore. Like that's enough is enough.
Right.
You know, like Martin Luther King said, we want it here, we want it now. We not going nowhere.
Right.
We're here to stay. So we want our rights, and we want our rights here, and we want it now.
We want it now.
And if you love us and you all about the Black Lives Matter thing, like I was watching Floyd's best friend today speaking, and he was saying like now is the time for you to pick. It's no time for straddlers.
Right.
Like either you're gonna love me, you're gonna be with Black people, and you're gonna be on the side of us, or you're gonna be over there with the others.
Right.
But it's not straddling, because he was like, I know why y'all are afraid of us, because now the love that we have is dwindling, you know. So now it's turning into some of that hate that y'all have against us, and I see why y'all are fearful of it.
Yeah.
You know, y'all don't want this type of fear to come out. So we're just asking for this to stop.
Right.
Because we know where this can go. And he was like, we're not backing down. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's basically where we are. You know, like it's kind of like everybody, that fear of what the cops will do now, that's like no longer a thought. You know, like it's kind of like we have to stand firm and stand on our ground and believe what we believe and know that that's what we deserve. And it's hard for us being this far away, because it's like we're not even there. Like we can't. It's like two things happening in the world right now that's so crazy that you wouldn't even think you'd be living, and we so far away. So it kind of makes us feel helpless, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But we know that we are where God wanted us to be for whatever reasons it may have been, because being here has opened our eyes to so much things that we were ignorant to before, you know?
Yes.
Because we just weren't exposed. We didn't have the exposure that we have being around so many different cultures. So, like, we know that we came here for a purpose, and the ideas and things that we want to bring back to America came from this experience.
Absolutely. I mean, you remember Paul and Barnabas, they did the same thing. They went to different churches to gather information to come back to their church, you know, and bring it back. So you are definitely where God wants you to be, you know, so don't ever think that you are helpless. You're gathering, like you said, you're gathering information to come back and to help us be stronger as a community, as a people. And man, I tell you, this was one of my favorite conversations. I had so much fun with you guys. I'm looking forward to serving with you in some kind of way in the near future, and meeting you personally. Yes. And I just,
your husband, nice to meet him too. We can't wait till we can all really, really meet each other.
Yes.
Outside of the Zoom call.
Yes, absolutely.
He said sit down and have dinner with mask and gloves.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, we're never going back to normal. So I don't know what the new normal is going to look like. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your willingness to be on this call. I love you with all my heart. You are my sister and brother in Christ. Thank you, Heather and Jamel, for going on a virtual double date with me and my husband. I truly enjoyed the conversation, and I am honored that you are willing to share your testimony with us. This is Sister Talks with TK. So for my sister, I have empathy and understanding of what it could have been like for her to have to be a caregiver while still working and being a mother of 3 young children. Having a husband that survived 2 strokes and not able to do much physically physically, a lot falls on me, and it could be overwhelming at times. During those times of exhaustion, the enemy will try to come and throw doubt, fear, frustration. But like Heather said, staying spiritually connected with our God, our Father, He gives us a strength like no other to overcome those moments of being overwhelmed. And for my brother Jamel, first of all, he's healed, y'all. Knowing where his healing came from, he stayed connected to the ultimate source, which is Christ Jesus, because by his stripes, we are healed. And that doesn't mean just physically. Jesus heals the brokenhearted. I just want to give my condolences to the family and friends of George Floyd. I pray for our country. I pray for the leaders of our country. But most of all, I pray for my people who are oppressed. Yes, all lives matter, but right now, Black lives are the lives that are being stripped away just because of the color of their skin. So you know what? Enough is enough. Thank you for joining me this evening on Sister Talks with TK Sims. Go check out my organization's website, www.reach4sisters.org. That is reach4sisters.org. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Reach4Sisters. Meet me every other Saturday, same place, same time. My name is TK Sims, aka God's Girl, representing who I am, but most importantly, whose I am. Good night.